mechanic. I'm going to be a farmer.
Dream.
Yes, I do. I think that it is I think it exists. I think that there are a lot of barriers for many people to achieve it. Some of them are internal and some of them are external. But I believe it's still a very strong motivating force for people in their lives.
I believe in the American dream as a concept. I'm not entirely sure that it still exists as it once did. I think the definition of success changed as time went on, so it's very different for every individual person. Kind of like this group project we're doing. We've got the individual viewpoints, and the American dream can mean something different to each one of them. And even within those groups, it can mean something different to each individual. One way I think is really interesting to look at it is if you take, because the group I'm in is musicians, I have to portray the American dream through their eyes. If you look at musicians, I honestly can't think of a name, but your typical rock star, I guess, what have you. Their American dream is going to be very different from the American dream of, let's say, Beethoven, had he been American. It all depends on, personal desires, individual feelings.
The American dream when I was younger was to be a provider, a daycare provider, which I achieved. I went to college and got my early childhood degree, and I was a daycare provider for 18 years and loved every minute of it. So to me it was very attainable. I was told in high school that I would never amount to anything by a guidance counselor, and to me after 18 years I proved them wrong.
Well, I grew up in a small town, so I had a small town American dream. I think mostly I wanted to get a good job. I wanted to leave the small town. That was probably one of the bigger aspects of my dream. And for when I was a kid, I really didn't have a lot of direction. I grew up in a home that was broken, and I was really not thinking too much of my future, not until I was in high school. When I started thinking of planning about what it is that I wanted to be. And sort of the evolving American dream at that point for me was a variety of things that I wanted to do. Mostly centered around career, but also experiential stuff, places I wanted to visit. Kind of a bucket list became my American dream.
So that's what it is now, your American dream.
Well, today what I see is a lot of bucket lists, but a lot of, it's actually come back to roost. I mean, a lot of my American dream now is mostly centered around my kids and my family, and being there for them and providing safety and security for them, and sort of and career-wise, I'm sort of at an interesting transition point where I'm actually doing many more things outside of my full-time job than I used to. So I'm engaged in some bucket list items that have been on the list for a very long time.
When I was a kid, I feel like it was pretty typical for little kids to be like, oh, I want to be a rock star when I get older. And up until I was about 13, I started playing guitar. I played for about 8 years. I was still really into it. And then I kind of was focusing on school more. And it sort of just became less of a goal and more of like exactly that, a dream, you know. I mean, today it seems less attainable. You know, everybody can't be a rock star.
When I was young, well, if we go way back, it was to fly a plane, because planes were all the rage. But as I got older, probably when I was 8 or 9, I decided I wanted to work for Nintendo, the video game company. And to this day, that's remained my dream. That's what I'm pursuing right now in, college here. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to work for Nintendo of America eventually.
How did your orientation go?
I totally didn't fit in.
Yeah. I don't think farming's for me. So what was your American dream?
Well, I learned how to change a tire when I was 5 years old, and I just thought I was supposed to be a mechanic.
I was milking cows with Pops, so I guess that's not for me. But I think I'm gonna go to be a nurse instead and be successful.
Agreed. Let's go get something to eat.